Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the SITREP or the summary for the day of 1346 for the 31st of October. SITREP also means situation report. So what's the situation right now in Ukraine? Is crazy. So we're going to start off with the south and then we go all the way to the north. Over there in the Kherson front, at the Kherson front, we still have reports of fighting at the Antonovsky Bridge, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. There's some attacks being reported over here. Oh, my mouse is too fast. I can't control it. Yep. So that's it. It's basically a duchy generally, because that's where the bridge ends on the southern side. So fighting is reported here. And that's it. We don't have much information about this. Moving on from Kherson front over in the Zaporizhia front. So Zaporizhia city, Zaporizhia front over in the Kayamsky and Orikhiv sector. So this is the Kayamsky sector, this is the Orikhiv sector. Fighting is reported over at Kanyamsky as well as Novoandreevka. This is the very nothing burger, I would say. This is no longer any offensive in this sector. I think even in the Kayamsky sector, I think things have come down for now. I think the Russians are regrouping because maybe whatever they are doing now has not worked out. Over in the Huaypole sector, this is the easternmost sector of the Zaporizhia front. Fighting is reported again on the eastern side. We have fighting reported at Rybny. Over here, this is what is, I forgot what it's called, Krasnohorsky, Pavlivka, Uspenivka, Novovasilivsky, Novomykolivka, towards Nove, and also Zeleny High. This is a Ukrainian mapping of the Russian advance west of Pokrovsk. The Russians also have entered into the south of Uspenivka, and the Russian forces should have already captured Krasnohorsky. So generally speaking, the Russians are consolidating this chain of settlements. They are pushing out from this chain of settlements, which is along the river, and they are also pushing out westward from Pokrovsk and Melanivka. So that's mainly the action in these regions here. Nothing particularly changed. I think strategically it's the same, and so that's all. In case you do not know, I actually zoom out so that you can see this is 100%. 100%, you can see the text is much bigger, but the icons also become bigger. Then we cannot really see the terrain very well, so which is why I zoom out like this so that we can actually see the terrain much better. And when I zoom out, things all looks much further away somehow. Yeah, so it's a bit more realistic. Yeah, if I zoom out even further, you will like everything looks super far away. Suddenly you get really a sense of scale. Moving further up to the KOMAR front. So this is KOMAR. Over at KOMAR front, we have the big news is the geolocation of Russian forces over in Novo Alexandrivka, which Russian forces is now confirmed to have captured it based on the information from the geolocation. Fighting is reported at Vishneve, Verbove, Oleksievka, Orestopil, Sosnevka, Vorone, Stepove. Yeah, not sure why my mouse today now, not today, but now feels a bit weird. And Dashny. So the geolocation of Ukrainian forces. This one is strike using loitering munition, a drone called Lightning. I'm not sure what is that about. I didn't see the footage, so no, I'm not sure. So generally you can see the northern part, as I always mentioned, this is likely to be static lines, and it seems to be correct that it's pretty static. Nothing is happening over there. The Russians are, however, pushing for Orestopil. This is the flanking operation into the rear of the Ukrainian forest here, and this push northward. This big arrow push. It looks like the Russians have stopped pushing west. Maybe they don't want to go to the roads here. They're going to go directly to Alexandrivka and Pokrovsk. So that is the direction currently they are pushing at this moment. someone in the comments posted and asked why I don't change the name, from KOMAR to Pokrovsk or Alexandrivka. The problem with Pokrovsk and Alexandrivka is that these are very common names in Ukraine, so it's a bit confusing. If I really want to call it a front, I will call it the Dnipro-Petrov front, or Dnipro front, for now. But whatever it is, I tentatively, it's still not out of sight yet. It's still part of KOMAR. We shall see how this continue to develop. But I will give it a new name, when I think it's really, getting stupid. So moving further up to the Pokrovsk front. So this is Pokrovsk city. This is Minograd. Fighting is reported over at Novopalivka, over in the Dnipro region. Fighting is reported at Molodetske, Udashne, Kotline, Krishine, Vivrove, and then Troyada, Pokrov. What's that place called? I feel like doing an exam. Hnativka, Novopalivka, Novoukranka, Lysivka, Minograd, which is attacking from both two different or even three different sides, Novoekonomichne, Shovny Liman, and Rodinsky. So strategically, the things have not changed much. Actually, quite a bit. If you believe Russian claims, the Russians have taken the entire south of Pokrovsk. And then they continue to attack over on the southern side. Russian mapping, this one I missed out in the frontline changes report, which it will be in tomorrow's. Russian forces allegedly have taken the entire of the railway forest leading to Pokrovsk. So that is a major frontline change from the Russian mapping's perspective. Flanking operation north of Minograd still continues, but no much avail. As I mentioned, Minograd is attacked in 3 different places. Russian Defense Ministry announced that the southeast as well as the north is already blocked out. Ukrainian counterattack with heli-borne operation. The helicopter landed, dropped an assault squad or 2. According to the rumors, I saw people in the comments saying that they are all dead. But I'm not sure. I didn't see that they are dead or what. I didn't see any information. So if you watch most of the analysts or reporters on the war, probably they also cannot tell much what happened, because we don't really know what the hell actually happens in war. We only see from the limited footage that is being released. This line here is a static line. The push towards Novopalivka is definitely concerning, but haven't known much about it, not much details. So we shall continue to monitor the situation. I'm not going to zoom in because I already mentioned, I already described a bit more during the frontline changes report. But yeah, it's interesting that the Ukrainians is able to do airborne operations, whereas the Russians have totally have PTSD doing it. They don't dare to do it at all, it seems. So let's see how this goes. Moving further up north to the Pokrovsk breakout zone. So further south. So yeah. So in the Pokrovsk breakout zone, there is only fighting reported at Nikanorovka as well as Sofievka. It's important to note that there is no Russian Defense Ministry report in the past 24 hours because they do a weekly SITREP. So I don't map the weekly SITREP. So all these fighting reports is all coming from the Ukrainian side only, and which is also pretty telling already. Even with just the Ukrainians. And of course we have the Russian sources and the Ukrainian sources. There is non-governmental, which already filled up most of the information that we really need. So that's all. Nothing special about this. Like the Ukrainian perspective, if you look at, if you follow pro-Ukrainian channels or Telegram accounts, maybe Twitter accounts, they will boast a lot about the Ukrainian counterattack in the Pokrovsk breakout zone, and about this massive offensive that is so successful. And then clearly this is a sign that the Russians are shitty. But the reality is that the Russians created this probably just to create chaos, diversions, and and that create openings in the city, which allows the Russians to break through. And then the Ukrainians are now struggling, and the fact that they have to use helicopter, and this basically landed outside of the city, that shows that the city itself is super dangerous. So let's see how this goes. Things will continue on, and we go on to the Konstantinivka front. At the Konstantinivka front, we have fighting reported at Konstantinivka, Priteshny, Ivanopilia, Nelipivka, Plishevka, Torex, in the general sense, and Shebenivka. Ukrainians still have some kind of forces at Shebenivka, probably encircled. Russian forces have advanced and allegedly captured half of Priteshny already. So it looks like this operation is going to finish off soon to take Priteshny and then create the eastern wall on Konstantinivka. The other big arrow movement is to create the southern wall. This is part of the operations in this sector, which the Ukrainians are doing their best to hold out, and of course to wipe out the salient at Shebenivka. So Konstantinivka side is looking quite bad as well. Like a lot of these difficult situations for the Ukrainians have all end up into a situation where they have lost the positions. Like most of these critical places where Ukrainians have tried their best to defend, they've all lost it. So you can see the front line is simplifying in Konstantinivka because the Russians are advancing so much. There is fighting reported at Chasiv in the Bakhmut front. So this is probably nothing burger. So that's all from the Konstantinivka front. And an important thing to note is whether Ukrainians will defend Konstantinivka properly. If they are not careful, the Russians may break through and create a new crisis in another big major city. So anyway, that's it. For those that haven't heard me say before, Konstantinivka is actually bigger than Bakhmut. No, Bakhmut is only here. Konstantinivka is actually much bigger. So so it's something to note. So moving on to the rest of the Bakhmut front, there's nothing else. We go on to the Liman-Siversk front. At the Liman-Siversk front, fighting is reported at Liman, Torske, Yampil, Doronivka, shelling at Yakitny. It could be fighting, for all matters, we do not know. And fighting at Siversk, Vimka, and Perezny. Previously, we have already reported these advances. Situation remains largely the same. Russians are on this. They are creating the wall in the south of Siversk in one of the eastern prong attack. The western prong attack is catching up to try to meet them, to create the full wall and perhaps head out westward to cut off the Ukrainians' only logistic line that can be used right now. And capture of Doronivka is still ongoing. It seems like it's not complete. Ukrainians probably sending reinforcement to block it. However, Battle of Yampil also is ongoing. Similarly, the aim for Yampil is then later head to the south of Liman. They are already heading into Liman from the east. So things are really looking, pretty precarious, especially for the Siversk front. It's a very, very vulnerable front. As much as is historically, in this Ukraine war, a very powerful front, very, very strongly defended and probably commanded. The Russians have finally already broke the defense line. So yeah, and the Siversk front on its own actually is very vulnerable. There's only a few resupply routes, and it's looking really bad. So let's see how this goes. Moving further up north to the Oskil front. Oskil front, the past 24 hours be quiet. Fighting at Karpivka towards Korovia and Derilove. Because of the lack of Russian reporting, it looks simplified a bit. Seemingly, there's a big push in the direction of Oskil. Fighting at Derilove probably relates to both Novoselivka and Drobisheve. But yeah, the main action is to head towards Svatohursk, as I always say. So otherwise, nothing much strategically, more or less the same. Further up north to the Borova front, we have fighting reported at Novoplatonivka. That's all. I think this is skirmish. Don't pay too much matter to that. Over in the Kupiansk front, Russian forces continue the battle at Kupiansk, fighting as Petropavlivka, Pischane, as well as Novoosinovo. So the main action is still here. Russians potentially have position at Sadove already. The push in Pischane is to capture Kupiansk-Vostlovy, and there could be this second prone attack coming from the south towards Novoosinovo. There's potential. Otherwise, yeah, things is still pretty shrouded in the fog of war. Whatever you see on the map here is clearly way incomplete from what I think the reality is. So take it with a pinch of salt, and we move further up north to the Voreshna front. Voreshna front fighting is reported at Koloziasny as well as Voreschansky. As usual, the aim is to take out this entire salient. That's all. Nothing new. We move on to the Kharkiv front or Kharkiv. Battles mainly is the Volchansk sector. Fighting is reported at Volchansk and Volchansky Kotori. Similar situation. Nothing special about this. Strategically, yeah, this is the routine. And we'll go on to the Sumy front. And happy birthday to you if your birthday today. Yesterday's frontline changes report I forgot to say, and someone have birthday, and he didn't hear me wish him. I'm sorry. And it's funny how this becoming a routine and a must do thing, like many things in DPA is all very community driven. How defense politics Asia become a thing is because of you guys. So now the happy birthday thing actually is also because of you guys. Yeah, so yeah, so it's nice. It's nice. I think it's cool. Over in Sumy front, there is interesting reports. Pro-Russian sources reported the Ukrainians are still continuing their attack in the Kindrativka region. We don't have the usual reports because there's no Russian reports, Russian Defense Ministry report. So Kindrativka, continue to be Ukrainian preoccupation. Pretty pointless, if you ask me. But yeah, that's it. And then we move on to the Sumy Chernihiv region that is not part of the battlefronts. We have a few reports. These are coming from the Ukrainian side. They mentioned that there is Russian attacks along the northern border. Fighting is reported over in. I better fact check this again. No, because I told the AI to help me consolidate some things. Okay, I fact checked. The AI kind of hallucinated and say artillery shelling as attacks. So or assault. No, it's not assault. It's just shelling. So I'm gonna delete all this. These are all wrong. Yeah, so what happens is that the Ukrainians, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry do 3 SITREPs a day, and to speed up my my mapping, I tell AI to help me consolidate. But sometimes they do hallucinate. It's very irritating. But yeah, so nothing happening. It's just shelling in the Chernihiv Sumy border regions. It's not assault, so no false alarm. So that's about it. So thank you for watching. This is the summary for the day of 1346 for the 31st of October. And press the like button, subscribe, support DPA on Patreon if you can. That helps, because as Ukraine war viewership is not high anymore. I think this goes across the board for even Denis Davidov and all these pro-Ukrainian channels. Like everybody's view is lower because of the lower interest. So which means that for a smaller channel like DPA is hard. The even smaller than DPA, they are all struggling. So so DPA, for my case, I'm in that zone where it's not here, not there. So if you can support on Patreon, that will help to keep the reporting going. If not, then if I cannot get the alternative contents going well, then eventually I will have to pivot away from YouTube and concentrate on other businesses. Probably I will still do YouTube, but it will just be a part-time thing. Right now DPA is like a full-time thing. So I have more than one full-time job. So DPA is one of them. So yeah, so the ideally is that we can make the YouTube work. Well, unfortunately, that's the reality. So anyway, so if you do see my other reporting about other things around the world, do check it out. Maybe you might like the reporting that will help the channel, because if DBA become a news source, or a place where you can learn about other things, other issues, then the channel would have a better survival chance, in the post-Ukraine war world. But anyway, the war is not going to be over yet, but definitely, we need help. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next update.